PK and Dorit Kemsley have long been seen as one of Beverly Hills' most fascinating couples. He's the outspoken British businessman with a larger-than-life personality and sharp wit. She's the glamorous fashion icon who brought style, warmth, and vulnerability to the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Together, they built a life that seemed to embody luxury and love, a fairy tale of success, resilience, and undeniable chemistry. But as we've learned over the past few months, what appeared perfect on screen may not have reflected the full story behind closed doors. Sources close to the couple have revealed that the Kemsleys have been facing some of their most difficult challenges yet, struggles that no amount of wealth or designer clothes could conceal. For years, Dorit and PK stood united, even as rumors swirled around their finances, their marriage, and their lives under the Beverly Hills spotlight. They brushed off gossip with humor and grace. Dorit would flash her radiant smile, and PK would offer his trademark charm, assuring everyone that they were stronger than ever. But insiders now say that the tension had been building quietly, hidden beneath the surface of that calm facade. According to multiple reports, Dorit had been growing increasingly frustrated with PK's lifestyle, the long business trips, late-night meetings, and constant distractions that seemed to pull him further and further away. What started as emotional distance soon became something more complicated. Whispers of PK's questionable friendships began circulating months ago, but Dorit reportedly chose to stay silent, hoping it was nothing more than exaggerated gossip. Friends say she tried to focus on her family and career, determined to protect her children and keep their lives as normal as possible. But over time, subtle signs began to appear: phone calls taken in private, unexplained absences, and moments when PK seemed far away even when he was standing right beside her. Then, according to those close to Dorit, everything changed. She reportedly stumbled upon messages that shattered the illusion she had been holding on to. Messages that, as one insider put it, felt like a punch to the heart. The betrayal wasn't only emotional, it was deeply personal. The hardest part, it allegedly involved someone within their wider social circle, someone Dorit had once trusted. For a woman who has always valued loyalty and transparency, the discovery cut deep. After confronting PK, Dorit didn't scream. She didn't cry in public or make a scene. Instead, those who know her say she responded with quiet strength. She told him directly how deeply he had hurt her, a friend revealed. She said she was done with excuses, done pretending everything was fine for the cameras. And from that moment, the cracks that had been forming behind the scenes became impossible to hide. Not long after, Dorit made a surprising appearance at a Beverly Hills charity gala. While she looked as polished as ever, her speech that night had an edge, a hint of something more personal. While discussing resilience and integrity, Dorit said, "When someone breaks your trust, the foundation you stand on begins to crumble. And sometimes you have no choice but to rebuild it alone." Those words sent shockwaves through the crowd and, shortly after, through the entire Bravo fandom. Viewers flooded social media, convinced her comments were directed at PK. Within hours, her quote had gone viral, with fans applauding her grace and strength. For years, Dorit Kemsley has been a symbol of style and perseverance. From her elaborate fashion moments to her public battles with anxiety, she's always shown vulnerability and courage. But this moment felt different. This wasn't about television, it was about truth. Sources close to PK claim he was blindsided. One insider said, "PK never thought Dorit would speak publicly. He's used to being the protector, the problem solver. Hearing her speak her truth in such a public way was a shock to his system." Those same sources say PK has since tried to make amends. He's reportedly been reaching out to Dorit, sending flowers, letters, and apologies. But for now, she's maintaining her distance. Dorit loves PK deeply, a close friend shared. But love without trust is like a house without walls. It can't stand. Meanwhile, PK has been spotted several times looking visibly drained. Gone are the confident smiles and lighthearted jokes. Friends say he's struggling to focus, postponing business meetings, and keeping out of the spotlight. He's even skipped recent social events where he was expected to appear, choosing solitude over spectacle. Dorit, on the other hand, has remained calm and composed in public. She's been focusing on her children, her brand, and her personal well-being. Those who know her say she's rediscovering her strength, not as a reality star or a wife, but as a woman finding her own voice again. The story has left fans heartbroken. For years, viewers watched PK and Dorit laugh, flirt, and fight their way through life's chaos. They were more than a Bravo couple. They were proof that love could endure pressure, scrutiny, and fame. But even in Beverly Hills, where diamonds shine brightest, some cracks can't be hidden forever. Insiders claim Dorit isn't rushing to make any public announcements. She's reportedly consulting her legal team quietly, weighing her options, and prioritizing her family. Those closest to her say she's determined to protect her children above all else, even if it means stepping away from the spotlight for a while. For PK, this may be the hardest lesson of his life. A reminder that love, once taken for granted, can slip away before you even realize it's gone. Whether he and Dorit can rebuild what's been broken remains to be seen. But one thing is certain. Dorit Kemsley has shown that grace under fire doesn't mean silence. It means standing tall, speaking truth, and walking away when respect is lost. As this story continues to unfold, fans are left wondering, will PK and Dorit find their way back to each other? Or has Beverly Hills lost one of its most iconic couples forever? As the story unfolded, it became clear that what viewers saw on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills was only the surface of something far more complicated. Behind the laughter, the lavish parties, and the designer gowns, Dorit and PK's marriage had quietly reached a breaking point. Friends close to the couple began to notice changes long before the public did. Dorit, once radiant and playful, had grown increasingly reserved during filming. Her confidence, once the center of every RHOBH episode, had been replaced by something quieter, almost fragile. Insiders say she began spending more time at home with the children, focusing on school routines and interior projects, while PK seemed increasingly absent. Rumors swirled that PK had been seen attending business dinners without his wedding ring, and though he publicly denied any wrongdoing, fans couldn't ignore how distant the couple seemed in recent appearances. At the Beverly Hills charity gala just weeks ago, Dorit arrived alone. It was rare. The pair had always been inseparable at red carpet events. Cameras captured her standing gracefully under the bright lights, smiling for photos, but her eyes told a different story. Those who spoke to her that night said she appeared polite, poised, but deeply distracted. Then, just days later, came the photo that changed everything. A tabloid image surfaced showing PK in London, at a late-night restaurant, laughing with a mystery woman. Within hours, social media exploded. Some fans defended him, insisting it was a business associate. Others weren't so sure. Dorit remained silent. No statements, no interviews, no angry Instagram posts. But her silence said more than words ever could. A close friend of Dorit's revealed she's been through a lot. The break-ins, the pressure, the cameras, it's all taken a toll. But this was different. It wasn't just gossip anymore. It felt like betrayal. The ultimate betrayal, that's how those close to her described it. According to sources, Dorit found out through messages, casual ones at first, that later revealed far more than she expected. It wasn't just another business dinner or friendly text chain. It was emotional, personal. And once she confronted PK, everything changed. Insiders say the confrontation was calm, almost eerily so. Dorit didn't shout. She didn't accuse. She simply asked questions, the kind that cut deeper than anger ever could. PK, known for his humor and charm, reportedly struggled to respond. After that night, they began living largely separate lives under the same roof. PK moved into the guest wing of their Beverly Hills home, while Dorit focused on her children and her brand collaborations. Yet, what hurt fans most was watching the woman who once preached loyalty and love. The woman who stood by PK through financial challenges and public scrutiny, now faced with her own heartbreak, so publicly, yet so silently. The following week, Dorit made her first public appearance since the rumors broke, a panel discussion for women in business. Wearing an understated cream suit, she spoke about resilience, self-worth, and rebuilding after betrayal. At one point, she said, "Sometimes strength isn't loud. Sometimes it's the quiet decision to stand up and keep going, even when you never thought you'd have to." The audience erupted in applause. But those who knew her best recognized that the message wasn't just motivational, it was personal. Back in Beverly Hills, PK's world seemed to unravel. The once confident businessman appeared visibly shaken. He canceled podcast appearances, skipped several social events, and, according to friends, began reaching out to Dorit's team through mutual contacts, hoping to fix things.